Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm James.
I'm Ralph.
And today we are going to be talking about the documentary Heroes of the Empire, which is available in Netflix in the UK and seems like YouTube worldwide, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
it
you
appears
found
so.
it. Yeah. I watched it on Netflix. It was the easiest. You get sort of solid quality. You don't have to worry about ads and things like that. But yeah, if you wanted to check it out, it does appear to be available on YouTube everywhere. And that'll be in our show notes. You can go find it there.
And whose pick was this?
This was my pick. I knew nothing about it. Basically, I was like, okay, documentary about the 501st. Cool, I'll put it on the list. And then if everyone remembers a couple of weeks ago when we were looking for things, I was like, that one. Let's go with that one. Yeah. Last time I picked a documentary made in the UK, we didn't really like it that much. And
we got shit for it too.
Yeah, we got shit for it because we tagged the director in it. And this time when we were talking about like promoting this episode, I was like, I'm not gonna mention anyone because I didn't really like this all that much.
I mean, it's fine for what it is.
It's exactly yeah.
It's fine for what it is. And if we tag the director, that's fine. There's a couple. I've seen a couple of 501st documentaries. There's one on, I believe, Revenge of the Sith DVD or something.
I think so, yeah, because they were mentioning the fact that they'd like canonized the 501st and stuff in that film.
Yeah, but this focuses on charity work.
Which is, again, all of us who are watching this show or on this show, we know who the 501st are. We know what they do. Yeah. They're the costuming group who do a lot of charity events. You go to any celebration, they're the guys who they get to do security there. Instead of like having volunteers, a regular Comic-Con or show like that, they use the 501st, which is great. It's perfect. And they do a lot of charity stuff, which is awesome. It's always cool to see and you love them for it. This was about the UK Garrison, which is obviously a small subsection of the 501st. And it's really, really, really focuses on that charity side of things, which it's cool because it shines a light on that. So I think this is a documentary that appeals probably more so to, I don't know, I think my mum would really like this documentary.
Right.
Knows Star Wars, has actually seen the 501st in practice. She's been to a celebration. And then we'll see the charity side of it and go, isn't that lovely that they do all this nice stuff?
Yeah, the documentary is great for that. It's a little heavy.
Yeah, I felt it was a bit really like heavy. I don't want to use the term emotionally manipulative, but it did feel a little bit like it was heavy. Heavy is, I think, a better way. Better way of putting it. Yeah.
And it wasn't poorly done.
No, it was fine. It was absolutely fine. But yeah, I found myself, I looked at the timestamp about 10, 15 minutes in and I was like, okay, this is only an hour.
I noticed that hour timestamp like first thing. So I'm like, oh, cool. Popped it on late last night, not thinking like maybe I should give it not watch it right before bed. But the thing is, for me, like there was a point that felt like we were getting to a finale.
Yep,
this big event, the Force Awakens premiere, because this was shot like right before Force Awakens, and
I think there was I think they'd done some reshoots afterwards, because I'm pretty sure some of the celebration footage that they showed was the one that I went to, which was like in the summer after Force Awakens, before Rogue One.
But so that has this big story, about them at the Force Awakens premiere, and everybody came out and it was awesome, and they're all happy because all the hard work they do for charities, all the stuff that they do for the public,
and it had come off of the back of one of the most harrowing stories as well, like one of the most harrowing charity bits. It had gone from like the saddest of it to, but hey, isn't it great that we get this high? Like we don't do it for that, but it's a nice payoff when we can. And
then there's still like a 20 minutes, half hour left of more.
And then there's another one. Yes. And then there's another sad one. And it's like,
so I was like, oh no.
Structure wise, I would have probably reshuffled a couple of those stories around.
Right. Right. Let's say hi to the chat.
International man of mystery, Lucci Johnny is here.
Stevie's here. Stevie's in the other room. Stevie, it's fun. like what I think Stevie tuned out because she forgot that I was recording today, that we were doing this today, and we watched this last night.
Yeah.
Like usually when we watch something, it's either right before I record or it's the night before we record, and so that's the signal of
there's a podcast.
That's what was weird about like last week's data link where we didn't watch anything and we forgot that, oh, we have a show to do.
Yeah.
We didn't do homework to remind us. But I think she tuned out maybe kind of all the way. It was Sarah's here. Scott D's here. Lucha says he hasn't seen it yet. But he's loved listening to us regardless. Great. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad.
No.
And it definitely shines light. Like this is something that is always touched on in any sort of 501st spotlight. Anytime you see like a news article, anything online, you see stormtroopers at hospitals.
Yeah.
That's great. But this one, since Lucha hasn't seen it, this one really gets into,
it follows them like right into the wards and
affects like 3 or 4 specific children's short lives. And it's super sad because like kids who are sick, it's super sad.
Yeah, it's never a pleasant watch. You never
it blows. And so it's just a bummer. And I mean, this is something we obviously need to see. This is something we need to be aware of. We can't just sweep it under the rug like some kind of broom boy. But it's like, man, it's good. It's really good. It's not bad. It's just a little bit of a downer. And I never really understood. I understand the 501st. I understand that it's a group. It probably just originated with a group of costumers who got together as a little group, and it's grown into this big thing, which is cool.
Yeah.
But then I feel like the more and more, I've always felt like the more and more you start attacking on stormtroopers and bad guys, it's a little weird for me.
Seeing stormtroopers going into a hospital,
their guns,
yes,
walking through the hospital. I'm like, can't they just holster the guns?
Yeah.
Like,
did you notice that the Force Awakens premiere, none of them had weapons with them? They clearly were told, you don't bring your guns to this one. Like, you can't be walking around London like in Leicester Square with guns out because and it's like, okay, kids aren't going to know the sort of the social aspects of that, so like they're going to want to play with the toy. So for them in the hospital, it's probably fun for them, but it's like, I don't know, it's just something a bit weird about it. I thought that same thing where it's like he's getting this poor sick kid in a hospital, like he's pointing his stormtrooper blaster around. And it's like,
Scott D asked a good question. When in the Star Wars timeline are they supposed to be, the 501st? I believe the 501st is in canon.
They are now, yeah. So 501st was written, I believe it was created by Timothy Zahn in the Thrawn trilogy, the original Thrawn trilogy, like Heir to the Empire. And then George obviously liked all of that stuff. And then episode 3, he canonized them. It's Anakin's. It's Anakin because they were Vader's fist in the Thrawn trilogy. So that's Anakin's batch of troopers. That's his battalion essentially. So Clone Wars onwards is when they exist in canon.
So I feel like this is what I in my head canon, and it would be fun to see kind of Filoni and Favreau mess around with this in the Mandalorian, because they use the 501st costumers in
those shows, in most things now, like in all of the sequel trilogy, the 501st were there, they were being used and things like that.
But I think story wise, I think since there's no war and it's post Fall of the Empire, make the 501st like canon doing this kind of stuff. These are soldiers who fought in a war that's no longer happening, and kind of taking that armor, turning it into something positive, and make it an in-canon charity garrison.
Because I mean, that's kind of like, I mean, Rex flipped sides obviously, and Rex fought for the rebellion, and he was a captain in the 501st. So why don't people going forward, if they want to sort of do that, then yeah, they could sort of do
And
it,
I mean,
honoring him or whatever. You could write.
I understand. I understand that it's just movies and they're just costumes for movies and they're fake and all of it's fake. But for the kids, seeing these guys, like, these are like bad guys.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what information they got fed to become part of the empire, but I kind of, it would be nice to see that in the Mandalorian. Like, I think that'd be the perfect spot to have Mando come across a group of stormtroopers. They mentioned they're in the 501st and they're doing good. Like, just
helping.
Just do it so it's not so weird when they visit the kids. I like it.
That'd be cool. That'd be very nice. Yeah. Luch Johnny mentions, it's the Star Wars equivalent of John Cena and Make-A-Wish.
John Cena, they're like, but John Cena's one man.
So and he's done more than anyone else combined, isn't he? Like,
crazy.
Like, I don't think he's really human. I'm pretty sure that man is not a human. Or there's loads of them. Maybe he's a clone.
I'm gonna tell you a story here. Me and my friends, when we were in our 20s, were a bunch of fuck ups, bunch of numbskulls. And there was an event that we created called Nugtron 50/50.
Great.
So what you do is you go buy a shitload of chicken nuggets at McDonald's and you eat one nugget a minute for 50 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
So, I made it to 32. Stevie made it to like 34. And there's 3 other friends that did it. Ben from the Darmalars did it. He made it pretty high. Our friend Asif almost made it. And then our friend Matt Rat did the 50. And the worst part is you start waiting a minute to eat the next one. And you're like, you have a lot of time to think about it. Then it starts getting to the point where
digestion sort of starts happening.
You take a minute to finish one and you're like, do I want to stick another one in my mouth immediately? No sauces.
Oh God.
No sauces.
That makes it a lot harder.
So I got to 32 and there was a hard bit in it.
Ooh.
And so I was like, I'm done. I spit it out. 32 is a lot of nuggets in 32 minutes.
That's a lot of nuggets, period. Like,
So we did this at a friend's house up in Venice Beach in over here on the West Coast, up in their apartment. We did in their courtyard area. Their downstairs neighbor at the time was John Cena.
How did he know? You couldn't see him.
We found out later.
Wow.
Oh, we couldn't see. I get it. We couldn't see. Yeah. So I found that out like years later, and I'm like, so that whole time, all of us were eating these nuggets.
Dumbasses. Like,
John Cena was living like literally in a shack the size of my room.
So what year is this roughly?
God, I don't. It had to have been 99, 2000.
Okay, so like just before he sort of started getting big.
He found it was literally a shack. Like there was a shack on the side of the apartment building. And it was
already training. He's already
like
doing some indie stuff, probably, but like, he's not actually broken into wrestling yet.
It was a block from Muscle Beach.
Perfect for him. Yeah.
So he probably found that place and is like, this is where I'm going to be if I want to do this, if I want to be seen.
And he couldn't afford too much because he's a struggling like wannabe wrestler, and also if he's going to be on the road a lot, he doesn't need a lot at that point. So he's So I'm saying the dude's a machine. He's got a pre-programmed life. Like he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew his.
And once he got it, the fact that he's doing all the shit for kids and stuff. Like I heard some recent thing where he went on a trip to Europe. He was in some country. Let's just say
Belgium,
Great Britain, Belgium, and he flew. He had one like half day off. Like he was done doing his thing in the morning, and then he didn't have to be at his next thing till the next day afternoon. So he flew to Germany to like hang out with a kid for the morning.
That's so good.
And it's like, dude, like you have all the money in the world and that's how you decide to do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like
you can't hate him. Like there's just no way that you can hate him.
Anybody who hates John Cena is a bad person. If you hate John Cena, you're a jerk.
Yeah. This is when it's like next week we're gonna find out he's a massive anti-Semite or something like
something, but I don't know,
I hope
man.
not. I really hope
He
not.
seems really good.
Yeah, he really does.
Like this whole Jeremy Renner thing. Like, I guess you heard like Jeremy Renner got run over by his own plow. It's like, yes, he was. No, he's like in ICU.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and like the internet was like making fun of him, but apparently he like got out of his plow to like pull someone who out of their car who was stranded in the snow, and his plow like ran over him.
Oh god.
He
I
had,
didn't
like,
know that at all. I hadn't heard it. See, I like Jeremy Renner getting run over by his own plow. Like that almost tracks. And when you tell the story about it, but it's fine. But like, he's always seemed like seems like a fairly decent guy, but just a bit of an oddball.
Yeah,
Like I quite like Jeremy Renner, but yeah, he always seemed like a bit of an oddball. So him getting run over by his own plow was like, oh, weirdo Jeremy Renner does it again. But
yeah,
like,
he's like a go-getter.
yeah, but now it's like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, he like had like a mat. His leg was bleeding so much he probably would have died if his neighbor wasn't a doctor and put in a tourniquet. He
Okay,
had
cool.
some crazy chest damage where they had to do like a bunch of surgeries on him.
Fucking hell.
Speaking of chest surgeries,
Hell of a week for people in horrible accidents and things happening in the middle of games and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Bad times.
Yeah.
But that's why we
lighten up.
Yeah, right. That's why we got the 501st, because they can go and visit people and make everyone feel great about themselves by showing up as stormtroopers.
Did we finished saying hi to everybody? We say hi to Scott D.
We did of everyone that was there at the time. But yeah,
I started talking about John Cena, and of course,
yeah,
as always, StreamYard.
Thank you, StreamYard. Yeah, Jeremy Kelly, I think you came a little bit late. You missed a lot of John Cena talk and the legendary Nugtron 50/50. Which,
like Jeremy,
yeah, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to try it, but I would.
It's not as the worst thing is your stomach doesn't get full, just you're tired of tasting it.
Yeah.
Maybe if there were sauces,
I think that would make a big difference.
Also, if you don't get hard bits in it.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's legal to spit out. It's just I was just chewing it, and I'm like, I could decide to swallow this and just have it out of my life.
Was this a one-time event, or was this an annual thing?
It just happened once.
It's just a one-timer. Oh wow!
It's something that our friend Asif used to talk about, and
I got time,
and we finally did it. We finally decided to do it. Awesome. Like Edward 40 Hands. You've probably heard of that.
Oh yeah. I've played
those guys did. I don't like beer. But it's
I mean, we don't sell 40s over here, but we've played it with other things. Yeah.
About a half hour later, the guys went and got like a huge trays of Tito's tacos, and I ate like 3 tacos immediately, and it was probably the best tacos I've ever had because it wasn't.
There was actual nuggets. Like other flavor in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a nugget of grease. I'm sure chicken nuggets are better now, but these were like old school, gross.
Yeah, like you're getting the hoof.
I don't even like chicken nuggets to begin with.
You're getting some beak. You're getting some beak in there. Should we get back to the dog?
I mean, it's hard to talk about. I mean,
yeah, especially after that.
Jeremy Kelly watched it. I'm assuming he watched at least some of it.
I thought that was just about the talk about John Cena.
No.
But yeah, no, it was a tearjerker. It was tough. I don't know. I think I find it hard watching Star Wars fans from the UK on documentaries because like these are the same people that I used to sell comic books and Star Wars merch to for 10 years, and it's like. They seem like genuine guys. They all seem like really nice people. I like that we got some of their backstory and how they got into it and things like that. But then it was like, and super shy, like out of costume, wouldn't normally talk in public or anything like that, but put the costume on. Again, it's the same story that we hear every time, but it's nice. Something that I did think that was interesting when you were getting some like of the interviews with the parents of the kids. Yeah. You could tell that there was a parent that definitely was more of a Star Wars fan involved. Right. Like, and that was why the kid was a big fan. Which is interesting.
The I lost my train of thought. Shit, I lost it.
Was it
I'll get it.
because of
I'll get it
was it
soon.
because of Stevie's lips and assholes talk?
Yeah, that's probably that's chicken lips. I was gonna say that. Oh, so I've seen documentaries on the 501st, and they're very strict on what they'll allow into any garrison as far as screen accuracy.
Can't be a store bought, has to be made, has to have a level of screen accuracy. Yeah.
And this one was fun because it had the guys who had an actual stormtrooper outfit that they could make molds out of, and they didn't care about the collectability. They just wanted to make as many screen accurate ones as possible, which is great.
Yeah, awesome.
Which is great. The second is they allow people with cardboard costumes, like the lady was saying. Like, we just allow anybody. Like, we're not strict about it.
Yeah, that's different. I think that's different from the US side of things.
Yeah. It's like just have fun.
Yeah. The kid with the stormtrooper wheelchair was rad. I've seen various sort of wheelchairs that have been sort of made up to look like Star Wars vehicles and things like that, but it's super cool. Seemed like a good kid who's doing a lot of charity work already himself. Which is
and then nice seems to be walking around fine now.
Or I think what they were saying is like he can walk around. Like it's not that it's he for longer walks, basically. So like around the house he's okay, but for anything sort of out the house, they've always got the wheelchair at least with them. Yeah, just really, really bum ticker, literally on that one. It's like, but as they were saying, it's like he was given a certain amount of time and he's already exceeding it and he's already doing well. And it's, you know, he has surgeries every year, but it's like, hey, that's cool. Keep going. Like, that's awesome. And seemed like a really genuinely nice kid who was so excited to show off his Lego and to then get his own helmet, which was really nice. Yeah,
that helmet was huge.
Oh, it's so big.
He looked like
so big.
He looked like a dark
helmet. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Lucha says it feels kind of weird. It feels like a group of Jedi cosplayers with lightsabers would be more fitting for visiting sick kids. Yeah, I think we mentioned that earlier. Like, if we can get the 501st in canon to
come back around,
a charity organization after the fall of the Empire, like a group of people, of troopers that come together for a force of good, that would be great.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
We even put out a comic about the 501st.
Some story about Rex post Endor, because you know we know pretty much in canon that he fights and survives potentially the Battle of Endor. So at that point, he's just like, okay, cool, right? Anyone. It can be a new rebellion sort of battalion or something. The 501st, they could be a part of the New Republic. Just rolling with that name as legacy sort of thing. Who knows? There could be more clones out there from his. He had his group, but yeah, it'd be cool. Going back to the talk about the guy who had an original mold. Thought that was really interesting. It's the sort of thing that it's gonna be more unique to over here because of when they were all shot, like the original trilogy being shot over here. Those original costumes, especially ones from A New Hope, having an original from that, and how they were like, no, we're not interested in tidying anything up on it on the molds. Like we want it bang on. Like we're just replicating that original one. Which is it's really cool. It's nice to see.
Have you ever thought about joining?
No,
I think something that you've ever had an interest in.
First time I went to Celebration, so 2005 in Indianapolis, I thought that's super cool. I knew of them a little bit before from like looking at the force.net and stuff a lot in that time. So I knew of them. I knew what they did and what they were all about and everything. Seeing them in person and sort of interacting with them a few times, I was like, this is really, really cool. I am 5'7" at a push, 5'8". Like, there's no chance that I could be a stormtrooper. And I never really had the aspiration to do it. It was almost like I'd like to know someone personally who was doing it more than doing it myself.
Yeah.
Which is the same with all sort of costuming stuff, I think, for me. I'm not a costuming guy, but I do really appreciate it when it's done well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if anything, I'd do Rebel Legion.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think I do Pilot. I
of
love
course.
the Rebellion so much.
Yeah.
Um,
Rebel Legion, for those who don't know, is a spin-off of the 501st. They're sort of a subgroup. I'm sure that they're mostly affiliated, but they're the guys who do all the Rebel costumes.
Either way, I'd still want to lose weight. Like
yeah,
I don't know. There's not a lot of big guys in Star Wars.
no, there's a few out there, but like it's yeah, I know
Your
what you mean.
Porkins and your Snaps,
Yeah,
but I don't want to be a guy that's filling out his flight suit
and dying in his cockpit. Like that's his most famous move.
Both of those guys.
Yeah, exactly. Star Wars hates fat guys.
But just to like be able to like design my own helmet.
I think that's it. Like,
I think that's mostly just what I want to do is design my own helmet.
I've got my wedge helmet here, which I really love. But I love looking at the Rebel helmets and how they're all different. You've got, Biggs has got that iconic sort of checkerboard thing. Luke's got his. Even the generic ones with just the Rebel insignia on it are super cool. But I love the thing that I've really liked about all the new helmets that we got in the sequel trilogy as well. Like they kept that up where there was
I don't like the styles. I didn't like those style of helmets where it looks like it's squishing their cheeks.
It is a bit cheeky.
It looks like a Rob Liefeld or what is that? Prophet, like that sort of headgear.
Mid-90s, yeah. Loads of pouches and no feet. Yeah.
And the vest seems small to me. I'm not a huge fan of the Resistance pilot outfits. I think it fits Poe Dameron well. But I think everybody else, it doesn't. Like no one else.
That's the thing, isn't it? They've designed it for Oscar Isaac and what will make him look awesome, and then they've gone, well, it's got to be a uniform, so hopefully it looks
on Greg Grunberg.
Yeah, very different body shape.
Lucha says he wants to do a Mandalorian armor costume. My friend, Mike Allred, who did these.
Yep.
He did one. He's done, I think, a couple of. I think he did a Beskar one, and I think he did the sort of proto episode 1.
We haven't had Mike on yet, have we? You've had it on talking about Mandalorian, but
he's actually in town this weekend. I'm hoping to run into him.
If we can get him on for Mando season 3, that'd be great.
Here's the thing: he was on my Patreon show for Mando season 2 finale.
One of them, I know.
He wanted to do the finale because he wanted to talk about the whole season with me, as opposed to just one episode. Mike's great, but I think just a couple. We didn't have him on a couple months ago. I know a couple of months ago, he did a live stream for a charity event, and it was the first time he's ever been done a video live stream because Mike and I this isn't a bad thing. He just technologically wise, it's not his thing. He doesn't do technical stuff. Because every time he's been on my Patreon show, I've literally used Skype to call his landline.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
So
he's definitely not been on.
So when he did the live stream, he had our friend Brian set everything up and monitor it while he was doing it. So if we get Mike on to do Mandalorian, I can ask him, and he might say yes because he'll be up. He's up early.
Yeah,
he watches the stuff early. He'll probably ask for the finale, and I would oblige. And
absolutely,
then I'll ask him. I'll 100% ask him, see if he's willing to do a video thing. And I don't know if StreamYard has something where we could call landlines, but I can probably create a box for him with just his photo or a little outline of him on the
picture
phone,
of him in his full Mando outfit.
But dude, if you go to youtube.com/casinoskunk and go to, or it might be, go on liveactionstarwars.com. Down at the bottom, you'll see in our playlists, Ralph's Mandalorian podcast. That's all from my Patreon. It's free for you guys. It's audio on YouTube. But there's a Mike Allred episode where we're talking about the finale of, I believe, season 2.
I think it was.
I don't know if it was. I think
it was after my episode.
Yeah, I had so many great guests on that.
That's great.
We need to get some of those guys back.
Yeah, roll them back through. I mean, we haven't had a Mandalorian season since, so
we've never done a Mandalorian season.
Yeah,
we started this after season 2.
Yeah,
but I'll 100% ask Mike. I don't think I'll see him this weekend, but
Definitely, that'd be great. I'd like to see it. And yeah, if we can get him to at least show off some pictures or something of his
He's got.
Mandalorian costume, because he's got a
He
Boba
would
Fett and a
probably put it
Mando,
on.
right? Yeah,
He has a Mando
he has a Mando
with different. I think he created different armor to replace like the Beskar armor, and then he has another Mandalorian character that he created himself, and that's crazy to think of, like the creator of like iZombie and X Force, Ecstatic,
yeah,
and Madman,
yeah.
and
A
creating
bunch,
his
just
own.
amazing, yeah, like
He's
so
done
much
Star Wars comics.
iconic. I was gonna say, like, he's done Star Wars. How have they not given him a Mandalorian focused story yet? Do they not know his love?
But the fact that he's written his own Mandalorian character.
Yeah, I mean, you know he's gonna
he's
be in
told. I think he might have told me on that episode. Like he was so excited to tell me all about it. I'm like, he's a big fan. We need to get him on. I'll see. Yeah. I'll contact Brian and see like, hey, is he gonna be able to? Can you plop him in front of a screen at 7:30 on a Wednesday?
That'd be great.
He's usually up all night like doing his art.
Yeah.
God, he's such a good guy.
It's so cool because I know that you've been such a fan of him for years. I've been a fan of his for years, and like the fact that you guys are now friends and stuff like that it's super cool.
Yeah, he sent me a text message. He's like, hey, I'm gonna be at Disneyland on Sunday. I'm like, I don't work there anymore though.
Yeah.
And then I found out that his son is friends with the guy I'm working on the project with.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, what?
It's a small world.
It's really bizarre.
Yeah, it is odd how this stuff all sort of comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the documentary, I don't know. Talking about it has made me sort of like it more. I think in the moment I was just like, and I think that the music it doesn't let up. It's constantly just sort of the slow, sad piano music throughout. Yeah, and it is on just a loop.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. When they go to the premiere of Force Awakens, it's like uplifting, like this is great. It's all like
it would have been a lovely finale, I think, is if they'd done it like that. But
and then they cut the pictures of a little like infant with like chest scars, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm glad this kid's doing well. I really am.
Yeah.
I thought
and I think that's the thing with the documentary. It's like I don't want to shit on it because
it's not bad.
Doing, it's not bad. It's made well. It's made like, and it's a low budget thing. Like I was looking it up, and apparently like the estimated budget for it was £8,000. So maybe like 12-15 grand, like dollars. So it's a low budget documentary, but they found a few people in the UK Garrison, and they've talked to them. They focused on those guys. Like the guy who's running it now, because by the seams of it, the person who originated it has passed away. The woman who does all the admin, she seemed lovely. She seemed really cool. Organizes everything.
And she was, like you said, if your folks watch it, they don't understand the 501st. She's sort of the conduit for them. She says, I didn't know what this was.
She knew Star Wars. She liked Star Wars, but like that was a way into a different side of things.
And then once being involved with it and seeing it, then she like, oh, okay, this is totally makes sense. Kids love it.
Yeah, and that's great. And that's again, it's what it's for. It's to put a smile on their faces. I mean, they are a group that put a smile on anyone's face. You can't go to a celebration and be told to get in line by a group of stormtroopers and go, no. It's like they're stormtroopers at a Star Wars convention, and the stormtroopers are acting as security. It's perfect. It's lovely. It's always great. It's been happening now for so long for all of us that it's almost become like the standard. But if you're a kid going to your first one of these and you see that, how can you not love that?
Right. That one kid, the stormtrooper shows up into the hospital and the kid says, "How did you know I was here?"
Yeah. His response as well, that the Empire's got eyes everywhere. It's like, oh, well done for like, sort of, it's great.
But it's almost like the kid loves Star Wars so much that he wishes Star Wars was in his life, and these people are able to do it, and that you can't. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. So yeah,
I don't know. I didn't really love it as we were watching it, but I like that it exists, and it's not. I don't think it's made for us. This is a documentary that's made to shine a light on it for people that don't know who they are and what they do. It's I don't know. It's just maybe I was just not in the right headspace to watch something like that yesterday.
Yeah. Like you want to see, you're looking for things like how they do it and what what it takes to prep. And there
are other documentaries that are doing that though. I think that's the difference. It's like, and it's good that they're not just retreading. They're going to touch on it. They're going to show this one guy because he's got an original costume. That's cool. Focus on that. That's a unique selling point. But if you want to watch documentaries about the 501st and the costuming side of it, like there's going to be others out there that you can go to for that. Yeah.
I'm not mad I watched it.
No.
It's all good.
And again, we saw a little bit of Jeremy Bulloch in this, and Jeremy Bulloch just seemed like he was the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
It's cool. There was the Darth Maul guy, because the 501st, yes, it is mostly stormtroopers, but they do sort of also include other costuming from around the Empire and the bad guys, sort of thing.
The
Vaders, the officers. I like it when, like, if we see the guy who's running it, it's like he's probably got a stormtrooper costume, but when he's having to be the boss at an event or at a convention or something, he's in an Imperial officer outfit, because
that's great.
It just works. It fits. And
I like
the woman who was like the admin woman, she at the premiere, she was in Imperial officer,
because it sounded like she didn't really want to be in it. She likes doing the admin stuff and sending these guys out, but she didn't want to be like in the costume stuff. But the Force Awakens was such a big event that they made one for her so that she could be among them and like kind of maybe corral them, but still it was like and
also it's like, you do so much for the group that, come on, be a part of our biggest thing. It's a celebration of us, not anything else. And just
Jeremy
seeing them walk into Leicester Square with all their bags and everything beforehand, and the documentary crew, who obviously have been following them for a little while, say, like, can you tell us what you're doing today? And they're like, nope, we can't mention it. It's like, because they'd only found out a couple of days before that it was actually happening and things like that. It was a nice moment.
And good on Lucasfilm for
using them,
like letting these guys do it.
Yeah. Kathleen Kennedy really seems like she always like makes mention of the 501st whenever she's sort of at an event, which is nice.
It's great. Jeremy Kelly says he has a couple of buddies who do 501st stuff here.
That's awesome.
I say we do a Data Link episode. Let's get some 501st guys on.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a perfect use of Data Link. Because you can't get any more, like, I don't know. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear about this stuff firsthand. I have
stuff
questions.
that they're up to. Cool.
Get some Rebel Legion guys on here. Let's do that. Let's
start reaching out.
That would be fun.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you speak to those buddies in the next couple of weeks or so, like, let them know that we would love to have them on the show. And if they have anyone else that they think would be cool on the show. Yeah. I'm sure that we're all,
like that.
I think we're all probably only like one or two steps away from someone who at least has a connection to someone in the 501st.
That's cool. I don't think I know any 501st guys.
I don't personally. I just know someone who does.
I know one guy who has armor.
Yeah. See, that's the difference as well. It's like there are people who dress as stormtroopers, but then there's people that are in the 501st.
There's my friend has screen used armor that he wore.
Wow.
In Force Awakens and
Rise
of Skywalker. I wonder if we should get Michael on, not to talk about
anything that he's
directing, not to talk about composing, just to talk about
being a
stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I think he would do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him.
Yeah, you can ask him.
Get Mike Allred and Chiquino to come on at the same time to talk about their armor.
Yeah. Armor Wars, but not that one.
So it's all Jeremy
Everyone's
Kelly
got friends
of friends. Lucha says friends of friends. I don't even know if I have friends of friends. But I
I'm
mean,
sure
we
you
can
do.
reach out.
I'm sure you
Listen,
do.
if we contact the 501st like directly, like even on like Twitter or something,
Yeah.
they'll have someone to send to us.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It's crazy. I'm wondering how many there are.
I mean,
In the
every
world.
state has their own garrison, and obviously the UK garrison. I'm pretty sure they're all over Europe and Australia and everything. Like they've gone pretty global at this point.
I'm wondering if you, because I know every member has their own serial
ID,
number, their
yeah.
TK,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to know if TK 2814 is taken,
Okay.
which is the sector that Earth is in the Green Lantern series.
Of course it is. Yeah, I knew I
And
knew the number.
I'm wondering if there's a TK 2814.
I'm gonna look it up because I think
Yeah,
all
they
of
have a
their
database.
yeah
Yeah,
on their website. I think they have a database. Let's see.
is it 2814? Why am I doubting? It doesn't sound right, but
I was
it is
gonna say this
2814.
is you. You should know this.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've got like so much Green Lantern shit. Like you guys don't even know. Like I have more Green Lantern shit than I do
Star Wars.
Star Wars. And so this is a Superpowers toy of John Stewart that just came out. And this is a statue based on the Superpowers action figure. So this isn't, these seams are just molded in the statue to look like an action figure.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's so good.
I'm on their website and there's squads, garrisons and squads, outposts and detachments. I'm not going to go through everything, but there is a unit.
Yeah, just do a search for. You can't do a search for. I feel like it's gotta be.
Not that I can see. They've all got their own badge and everything though. They've all got their own insignia, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a search. They all do have contact emails though. So
yeah, I wouldn't join up. If it was available, I wouldn't join up just to do that. But if I were to join up, I would do that.
That's what you'd want. Yeah.
Man, that'd be crazy. Yeah. And stupid. That's dumb. I shouldn't do it.
There's okay, so international. They've got Vietnam outpost, Uruguay outpost, Ukraine, Turkish, South African, Slovakia, Saudi Arabia, Russian, Romanian, Panama. They're all over the place. They are all over the world. Malta Beach. They've got quite a cool insignia. I like it.
Oh yeah.
There is one in Luxembourg. Luxembourg is barely big enough to have like a stormtrooper. That must be just one guy.
Can you click on it and see if
Luxembourg outpost roster of unit members in there is there is there's 30 members in Luxembourg. Wow. Not many stormtroopers. Weirdly, there is four stormtroopers, officers. A bunch of officers. They've got a Mara Jade. They've got a Jawa.
A Jawa.
Yep. Don't know why he fits in there. They've got they've got one Vader though. So they've got a Tusken. They've got a couple of scout troopers.
Yeah. Would you go standard trooper?
I mean,
I feel like biker scout would be the most comfortable.
Yeah, and also the coolest. This has always been my favorite.
Yeah. The snow troopers look cool too. It's always a toss up for me between the snow troopers. I gotta be honest with you though, making leading the charge, like really coming up out of the rear for me is the range troopers from Solo.
I do like
those range troopers with the fur on the necks.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, dude, those guys are like. I always like the snow troopers because they have those skirts.
Yeah,
the little
I know the one.
Like it was like a cool, like you could tell they were like add-ons to the regular trooper outfit. But those range troopers are so friggin' cool looking.
What's the Green Lantern Earth sector?
2814.
2814.
I can always do 2813, which is
there isn't a 2814 in the UK garrison.
There is?
There isn't.
There isn't.
No.
Okay.
But then you get beyond that, and you have to go state by state.
Yeah, I'd have to start working out. Let me see. Here's Tomar. Here's Tomar Ray. He's 2813, so I could do that. He's one of my favorites. He's in the sector next to Earth.
Okay, yeah.
He's a little, and I could do like, I don't know. This is not. No one cares. Literally nobody cares about Green Lantern but me.
I don't know.
One person in the chat.
I really enjoyed the Jeff Johns run back in the day.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I have that sitting right here.
It's just a shame about the artist now, isn't it? Or at least who did Reborn. I don't know how much he did. Van Skyver.
I never liked his art.
No, I was never a big fan. But Johnny likes
Ivan Reese.
Yeah,
he came in like right after Rebirth, or a little bit later. Carlos Pacheco did immediately follow Rebirth. He just passed away recently, and then but Ivan Reese is my dude. Like,
yeah, he's cool.
So that's Ethan Van Skyver. He's a
garbage human.
A twat, as you guys would say.
we'd go hard, eh? He's a twat, but yeah. Yeah.
Racist bullshit.
Yeah, just
anti-Semite, Nazi, fuck up. Sorry. I usually don't go hard, but
he is. he's just garbage person. I mean, yeah, literally Johnny saying not as much.
Literally, you don't have a quarter scale statue of Kyle Rayner. It's funny, dude. Like, it's funny.
I love latching onto like these characters. Like for you, it's Kyle Rayner. For me, like Wedge and things like that. It's like these are our dudes.
Yeah.
Was Kyle Rayner Green Lantern when you sort of got into Green Lantern? Then is that why you?
No. So I got into Green Lantern I liked him on Super Friends, but then in '89, after Batman, I started collecting comics. Oh, is my video going wonky?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
So would that have been Guy Gardner?
No, right after is the sort of they brought Hal back.
Oh, okay.
Hal came back and he had the white streaks in his hair. And so that was like 1990. I started getting really into the comics and stuff. And then shortly after that, Kyle showed up and I started reading him a lot. Then I took a little bit of a break and then came back for Rebirth. So I've been actually reading a lot of Kyle Rayner lately. Some of the stuff I missed. He had like almost 200 issues or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he had a long run.
Yeah.
And if you ever hear the term fridging, that relates back to Kyle Rayner.
That's not good.
No,
it's not. I mean, for the story at the time, I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But like, I forget. Is it Gail Simone? Who was it that sort of
brought that to the forefront,
shone a light on how bad that was?
Yeah.
Like it was used as an example of the treatment of women in comics.
Yeah, it's been done before that, but it's like that was
yeah.
In the same with like jumping the shark as a terminology that is used like a shorthand so you know what a thing is.
And the fact that Jessica Walters says it in the She-Hulk show, means she reads Green Lantern comics.
Yeah.
So
that show's so good. So next week we've got another data link, right?
We do have another data link.
So we've got a data link. I'm not at work next Wednesday, so time-wise could be different depending on who we've got, what our schedules are, what we're doing. So pay attention to socials and things like that. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and the other places, all the other ones. And we'll show you where it is. But as it stands at the moment, regular time, but who knows? And this week, Bad Batch just came out, so maybe we'll talk some Bad Batch.
Came out today, I think.
Yeah, I watched the first one. I haven't watched the second one yet. I'm going to do that in a bit.
Okay, I'll watch it, I guess.
Yeah.
Willow's today also, so I've been loving Willow, dude. It's so fucking made for teenagers and not for me, but I've been loving it, dude. A couple weeks ago, they did a pop cover of Enter Sandman. Wow. And I'm like, what the fuck is good? This is nuts. Steve said Jen Walters, not Jessica. Jessica Walters from Arrested Development.
Rest in peace.
I always get it wrong. But my pick in 2 weeks.
Yes, in 2 weeks' time.
All right. This is a long time coming. This was the first live action Star Wars stuff shot after the Ewok Adventures.
Okay.
And it was a big deal at the time. And I cannot wait to discuss Star Wars Rebel Assault 2: The Hidden Empire.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the cutscenes from the video game that was on PS.
We've been talking about doing this episode since almost the very beginning. Yeah, it is one of our go-to, like when we're telling people about the show, it's one of our go-to sort of points. Yeah, wow. I remember buying this game. I remember where I was. Yeah. I remember buying this game.
Rookie 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I think so.
I'm excited. Excited.
Great. I'm excited. I might try and watch a playthrough of it. I know a friend of the show who we had on a little bit ago, Jacob, he and his team over at Funhouse, they did a playthrough of some of the stuff from Rebel Assault 2 in the series that Jacob produced for them, the Star Wars playthroughs, just before Christmas. So yeah, go to Funhouse on YouTube. It's Funhaus, and look up the Star Wars videos, and yeah, you'll see some Rebel Assault 2 nonsense there. But we're just going to be focusing on the cutscenes. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
The cutscenes are available on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited because, dude, we'll get into it, but my excitement for that video game was like through the roof.
Yeah.
Like it was seriously like it said like the first live action Star Wars footage since the original trilogy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. Awesome. I don't remember who the bad guy was.
I know that there's an amazing new TIE fighter variant introduced in that game.
Yeah.
TIE Phantom.
Fan favorite.
Love the TIE Phantom.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So look forward to that next week. I'm going to toss the banner up so everyone can see.
Yeah.
Live action SW. I really would love in 2023 to hit that 1,000 subscribers.
So good.
We're almost halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost halfway there. I think we can do it. We'll get some 501st guys on here to help spread the word.
Yeah.
We'll get maybe Jacob will come back on to talk about Rebel Assault 2. Maybe
I'm going to message him this evening. I think. Yeah, we'll see what we can do if he's available next week.
He didn't seem to have a problem last time showing up at 7:30 in the morning.
And we don't need to be there at that time either. So we can go at whatever time. So yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited. It's a biggie. It's a let's do this. I'm excited. Spread the word, tell your friends. We post once a week. So if they, we're not gonna like flood their YouTube feed with like tons of stuff. Like if they could just deal with us once a week, that's fine. It's a real easy follow.
Yep.
And
you
can
join us live shorts and not Vines. What is it? TikToks and things like that. We're not those guys.
We're not doing that stuff. We let you know what's coming up, and then we do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
Yeah, the only time we'll sort of flood your timelines is during the season of things, when really you're seeing loads of Star Wars stuff anyway. So.
Yeah.
And we're not intrusive.
Yeah, I'm not even bothering you guys during Bad Batch.
No.
Oh, yeah. Who'd you block?
I blocked a bot. It was
I have. By the way, did I say that? I got the functionality back to block people.
Yeah, we noticed it last week, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you better watch.
I think that's gonna do it. Yeah, Lucci Johnny, we're on to you. I don't know why we're picking on Lucci Johnny this week. Guys, until next week. Don't get blocked by us. And Ralph has something else to say.
Nope, I had to open up my tabs.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, follow us, do all the things, go to all the places, and we will see you next week. Don't give in to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Punch it.
Okay, hold on. It looks good. All right. Sorry, new closing screen this week.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
The Starfield background. Okay, you got to get to work. The Starfield background.
Yeah.
Now
everybody watch. Focus.
Yeah. All right, and stay through the end. Look at the Patreon folks that help support this show.
Yes.
And if you want to join, the link's there. Yeah. All right. Punch it.
Punch it.